Steve Schlegel, Mentoring to Mastery. Let's talk about data. Data can be broken out into three areas: that which represents the past, the present, and the future. We're going to look at the past in this video. In the next two, we're going to look at present and future, because we need to understand our data in each of those areas. When we look at data from the past, we're really looking at financial statements. And so financial statements are historical. They tell us where we've been, not where we are. And those financial statements, especially the income statement, is the one that most business owners spend some time looking at and don't always understand what they're looking at there. I'm just going to give you three quick keys: sales, gross profit percentage, and expenses. Sales is something you're always going to be measuring against what you are forecasting for the year to make sure that you're on track. Are you doing a little bit better than last year? Are you doing what's expected or not? Expenses are a number that we look at. And when I break expenses apart from cost of goods sold, expenses are those fixed costs that you have. They're pretty much the same from month to month. Your cost of goods sold varies with the amount of sales. If you have a lot of sales, you're going to have more cost of goods sold. If you have very few sales, you're going to have very little cost of goods sold. But there's a relationship that goes on there, and there's a percentage we'll look at here in just a second. So think about expenses. If they're supposed to be about the same every month, you should be able to look at your financial statement and say, look, January, February, March, we're spending about the same amount of money every month on our expenses. And then all of a sudden in April, the number jumps way up. Why was that? When you're looking for that consistency in your expenses from month to month, it'll identify whether or not there's a problem that happened there. Doesn't mean that the problem is a bad thing. Perhaps you had 3 payrolls in the month of April rather than 2 as normal. Well, that would explain why there was a variance. But sometimes it identifies things that weren't expected and allows you to kind of drill in and get an idea as to what the issue might be. So you want to look, to keep it simple, you want to look at sales versus your projections. You want to look at expenses and make sure there's a consistency from month to month, and then you want to look at gross profit percentage. And the reason we look at it as a percentage is this: because your cost of goods sold numbers are directly related to your sales. If you have more sales, you have more cost of goods sold, and if you have less sales, you have less cost of goods sold. So there's a ratio there, a percentage. And so perhaps in your business, your cost of goods sold is 60% of sales, which means 40% of it is gross profit left over before paying your expenses. If that number is 40% in your business, then again, when you look at it from month to month, you should see roughly plus or minus just a little bit, 40% from month to month. If you see that number trending the wrong way or the right way, you're going to want to know why that was. If your cost of goods sold is slowly going up and your gross profit percentage is slowly going down, you're going to want to deal with that right away, because that can be extraordinarily detrimental to your business. And so historical financial statements give you a way to look at 3 key numbers: sales, gross profit percentage, and expenses, so that you can look at them very quickly and determine whether or not there's an issue within your business. As soon as you know that there's an issue, then you can drill down and find where the issue is. Or if you don't understand how to get there, you can talk to your controller, your bookkeeper, your CPA, whoever you've got in your life that might be more astute at those numbers than you are, who can really help you to do that if you need the help. And so think of historical financial statements, the past, as a diagnostic tool for identifying an issue. Keep it simple, make it useful, and actually take a look at them every month. Now in the next video, we're going to take a look at the data we need to pay attention to in the present. See you then.